And we saw how much time that took as well. All right. Underground Sea pass, and we're underway. And a ponder for Phil.
Oh, here it is.
Good.
Phil at this point was 2-0, and I was 1-1.
Good. I'll predict in response.
Target?
Me.
Okay.
Split issue. Finish my suit.
Brainstorm resolves there. Underground Sea, Taiga, Bloodstained Mire are the lands in play for me.
Move to discard.
Okay.
Phil going to discard, discarding a basic island. That is a Secret Lair Brainstorm. The I forget what it was called. All right, here's Uro. Yeah, the Mark Pool Secret Lair, yeah. Thank you, Tech.
Thanks, Kevin.
Ponder. Good.
This is Sanctuary putting Ponder on top. MTG Banding, thank you for the resub. 26 months with Prime, making Jeff Bezos pay for it. Is MTG Banding. What's up, Phil? Baleful Strix, draw a card. One of my favorite plays in Legacy, Baleful Strix, draw a card. Here's Ponder.
Bro, we're both casting spells.
Phil, correct. We are both casting spells.
Yeah, they arrived in the mail earlier today.
Yeah, Uro plus Badlands is awkward. I agree. Mystic Sanctuary, putting Ponder on top.
That. Ouch.
Underground Sea comes in.
You're up.
And passing the turn. Ponder for Phil.
Go.
Cast a Snapcaster.
End step Snapcaster.
Brainstorm. You got it.
And flashing back Brainstorm. Game plan here was just to get some attackers on the board and start chipping away. Want to use up Phil's removal spells before Uro makes an appearance on the battlefield. There's a swamp.
What's up? Draw.
5 speed with a great question. Chris, we need a ruling. Can we use the Nephilim as 4-color names? No! You cannot. Here's Baleful Strix, number 2. And Uro, number 2.
And I'll pass the turn. Okay.
Because you countered my ponder, you said you're done.
Yes, this is Strifo-less pile.
Just making sure. Because I was like, I haven't missed a land yet, and I went first. No problem. Just take that.
Okay.
Triumph of St. Katherine has hit the board for Phil.
What's happening?
The spec.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't realize Phil was grabbing the cards off the top for the St. Catherine there. I was a little confused. All right, so St. Catherine goes on back on top of the library and attacking for 4.
Another friendly bird.
And another Strix. Thwart returning island and 2 Mystic Sanctuaries is Phil to counter the Baleful Strix.
Use that.
Okay.
St. Catherine comes right back. We were talking about that a bit earlier today. Shuffled into the top 6 cards of the deck. It's 1 of 7 cards now on top of the deck. But if there are 4 St. Catherines in the deck, there could be another St. Catherine in that 7. So it's not gone for long, it seems.
Timmy.
There it is, everybody. Him to Turok.
Just pick.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll just pick the ones on the ends.
Force and a Scalding Tarn.
Force of Will and Scalding Tarn discarded to him to Turok. Snapcaster coming in here. Sudden Edict is available in the graveyard. Mystical Dispute. So that'll prevent me from having enough mana to flashback Sudden Edict. Question is, do I want to pay for Snapcaster to live here or do something else? Fetching in response. Alright, so countering my Sudden Edict basically is the Mystical Dispute. Snapcaster will live. Baleful Strix is pretty good at blocking Triumph from St. Catherine, but I'll attack with 1 and then pass.
Can you
Okay.
flash it back and forth? Yeah.
All right, Phil will shuffle St. Catherine back into the top of the library once again. It's now 1 of 7 cards.
Yeah, so I exhaust it.
Could be multiples in there.
Face down and then
So
come
it's
back
7
on top.
total.
and around. Yeah, 7 total.
I'm trying to play that in Explorer.
Explorer?
So you know the new Relic of Legends?
Oh, this is. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. It's from the.
So Relic of Legends?
Ponder here for Phil. Yes, that is me playing on the left. Good to have you here, Absolute.
And then this is the.
Yeah, Force of Phil. Work on those 6 card pulls. Come on, Force of Phil. This is ridiculous. All right, Mystic Sanctuary hitting the board again. All those Tundras and Mystic Sanctuary have me unafraid of back to basics at this point in game 1. Thwart going back on top, which is lots of fun. Portent.
Oh, Innkeeper also gives you life, right?
Gives you
Board is
life.
4 mana, return 3 islands, right?
So Goreclaw makes it cost 2 less?
Thwart is 4 mana or return 3 islands to your hand. Counter target spell. Alright, I got plenty of mana. I'm thinking Phil probably has removal, which is why I'm holding off on Uro for now. Attacking for 5. Here's a Brainstorm.
Cards? Yeah, go for it.
And we know Phil now has Thwart, of course.
Just go to 23.
Another fetch. Basic island.
Yeah, go.
Casting a Ponder. Oh, I'm not sure if the port and trigger was missed.
Yeah, waiting for a bit.
Attempt to escape Uro. Just pick.
All right. Now it's time for Uro, so gonna pick out 5 cards from the graveyard that I don't need. And most likely it'll get countered here. I do have a backup Uro in the yard. All right, there's the Thwart returning 2 Mystic Sanctuaries. Uro goes back into the graveyard, and I'll pass the turn. Phil down to 8. Still has to deal with my creatures on the board. Triumph of St. Katherine may have gotten shuffled away now. We don't know where that card is. There are 4 on the deck, so it could pop up again at any moment. Mystic Sanctuary.
Potent.
Portent goes back on top. Passing the turn. The double Snapcaster and Strix is putting the pressure on.
5. Oh, I'm sorry, 6.
6 cards in hand for Phil. Yeah, the Snapcaster's putting the beat downs. I'm fully expecting some of them to get plowed here. I don't know. I still don't know to this moment if Phil has Snapcasters in the deck. All right, attacking for 5.
I don't know what that means.
Cast a Brainstorm.
Sure.
Brainstorm resolves. Post combat. And Thoughtseize. All right, I've been looking for this Thoughtseize for a while now. Here it is, Thoughtseize. Let's see what Phil's working with if this resolves. All right, Force of Negation will counter it. It'll go away. And now feels like a good time to escape everyone's favorite giant, Uro, leaving just 1 Uro in the graveyard. Phil says it resolves. It'll hit the board. Pass the turn.
Yes, it's turn myself.
Yep.
Portent for Phil. Needs a Terminus or Supreme Verdict here. Am I grabbing the Junji Thoughtseizes? Probably not. Should I? Would you think I'm cool if I had those? Which is really what matters, right?
Pass, put the board in trigger set.
I don't know. All right, game 1 goes to... This was round 3. I'm 1-1, and Phil is 2-0. 1 card going on the bottom. And we're ready to go Volcanic Island into Ponder for Phil here in game 2.
Just go ahead.
Go to underground seat. Well, thoughts easy.
All right, turn 1 Thoughtseize here. Hopefully remember to update the life totals. The hand revealed is Scalding Tarn, Caracas, Mystical Dispute, Swords, Ponder, and Brainstorm. I'm taking the Brainstorm here. Keith Masterflex says I need to pay Bezos a visit. Yes, please do. Yes, Force of Phil with quite a collection. Predict putting Terminus into the graveyard and drawing 2.
You're written down?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Keith Massive Flex spamming us with bagels. Use a ponder for Phil.
He's gonna get me again. But you gonna sit here and wait.
Good. Yeah, showing yourself.
Let's try brainstorm.
Brainstorm here.
Yeah, it's good.
It resolves. And here's Triumph of St. Katherine hitting the stack. New Miracle from 40K. It's resolving.
Yes.
Baleful Strix can block it, so Need It can kill it temporarily. It used to get countered on the way down to be gone forever or exiled. Passing the turn. Fetching during combat here.
What is this from? I should still be at 20.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
thought
at
so.
16. Yeah, 16. Sorry. I started writing it down after.
Finding a basic swamp. Sudden Edict. So St. Katherine will get shuffled into the top 7 cards of the library. There could be another one in there since there are 4 in the deck. So we'll see how quickly St. Katherine reappears.
Yep.
And a ponder for Force of Fill.
Six cards.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
6 cards in hand for Phil. Ponder.
Can I play a land? No, right?
You haven't played the land yet.
Not that there's lands on top.
All right. Serious game. Serious game.
Spark Sprite? What is that?
Not this week. No.
Spark Sprite.
Oh no, it didn't.
Oh my god, where is it?
Oh, Spark Sprite.
Yeah, someone is playing dice in the background, and honestly, they're driving us all nuts. All right. Island and a taiga found here off the fetches. Very nice. And here's everybody's favorite giant, Uro, being cast from hand.
Oh, you're casting it from
Come
hand.
in, yeah.
That was kind of weird. It just like echoed what I said.
He's on the stack.
Yep.
He's on the stack, and we're getting a brainstorm.
Yep.
Triumph of St. Katherine hitting the stack. Triumph of St. Katherine. Smaller than Uro, but Uro is just being cast from hand here, not escaped. Caracas can deal with my Uro though, as we can see. All right, so it's, Triumph of St. Katherine will resolve. Uro will resolve. It's getting put into the graveyard, and we're passing the turn.
You should scan the back of the box for some sort of tracking run.
Start.
Yes.
Triumph gets in.
You're at 19, you only fetch once?
Yeah, I only fetch once.
Select them all. Unlock animation contest and more. Download that. Scan your pig.
And Jace the Mind Sculptor. Yeah, what a slugfest is right. Uro is in my graveyard, but Jace and Caracas complicate things. And Phil pulling ahead here, I would say.
Yeah.
We'll go with this. I'll fetch him.
I'm gonna pass it. Okay. Draw? Yeah. Hold you. Okay. Little decks. I'm not gonna hide it.
Grist hitting the stack. We knew about a mystical dispute in Phil's hands at the beginning of the game, right? I'm trying to remember. Thwart, in response, returning 2 islands and a volcanic.
Return 2 disputes.
Brainstorm in response to Thwart.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Islands, I meant, yeah. Dispute.
And mystical dispute on the brainstorm.
Grist is successfully countered. Go.
All right, so got rid of the mystical dispute, but Phil got rid of Grist, which is pretty good. I was hoping that Grist would be able to get through mystical dispute. Give me a chance here. Beating Triumph of St. Katherine and Jace and Caracas, which all 3 are a big pain in the butt right now. Draining me for 5 with Triumph, and here's Counterbalance, which is rough.
I have a Lyran already, and I have like 5 ways I can find Serac.
Yeah, I think my hand was a lot of like cantrips and stuff, so like, depending on what you wanted to do, I could have. It's tough to say.
Do have Uro in the yard. Can't really see my hand right now,
6 cards?
and I don't remember what's in it.
I also messed up. I should have cast the second hunter.
Snapcaster.
I go last up.
Just Southern
That
Edicts.
way I could definitely live.
Set an Edict. Casting it, and Triumph from St. Katherine will get shuffled back into the top. Jace Brainstorms, of course, will make this that much faster if it's in the top couple of cards. But it's put back on top. And immediately cast it right away. It was the top card. And it resolves. Jace Brainstorms now.
Pass.
Just drew a him to Turok. It looks like. Fetching Polluted Delta, going down to 6. Still have Uro in the yard, but with Caracas and Jace, it's just not that exciting right now. Finding Bayou.
Escape Uro.
Alright, so escaping Uro.
You got it.
It's really hard to find your creatures. You just keep ripping them off.
Well, I have brainstorm. You still only have 7 creatures.
Looks like I have an Abrupt Decay in my hand. Could potentially remove Counterbalance.
I was saying like.
Swords on Uro on end step. I'll gain 6.
This land was in.
Uro will go into exile. Chase Brainstorm pre-combat. Hello from New York. Hello to our viewers in Brazil. Attacking for 5. Going down to 10. Phil goes up to 34. It's a bit of a grind. Need to beat Triumph, Jace, and Counterbalance. Him to Turok.
Attacking myself.
Predict.
Terminus.
And a second Triumph of St. Katherine just hit the stack.
Yeah, you go. Oh, save the time.
And I'm scooping it up. So we're going to game 3.
Multiple bands. Like splitting them
I'll
up.
share the list in the live chat. The list is also posted in our Discord in the Decklist channel.
Yeah, this is good.
I cut a Fatal Push because it was 61 cards. All right, here's Ponder. Yes, please share your deck lists in our Discord. Share every deck list you want in our Discord. That's why it's there, for you to share your deck lists. All right, so a fetch here of Tundra for Phil,
Attacking myself.
and a turn 1 Ponder. Portent, sorry. Yeah, St. Katherine does sound like a card that would be legendary. Someone in chat was talking about the lore earlier. I don't know if that would make sense flavor-wise.
Yes.
All right, here's Baleful Strix. Turn 2. That's where I like to live. Turn 2 Baleful Strix. Draw my card and pass.
Attack for 1. Touch.
Attacking for 1 now.
Oh, sorry.
Someone corrected the life totals.
Yeah, you're already.
Yeah, the card is referencing the funeral procession of St. Katherine rather than St. Katherine herself. I believe that's right, based on what people in chat were saying earlier. Him to Turok, predict in response, dumping a counterbalance into the graveyard. And Phil will let me choose 2 to discard. It will be a Ponder and a Flooded Strand, I believe.
Counterbalance.
Counterbalance hitting the stack.
Brainstorm's
Brainstorm in response.
So, resolves, draw on the stack.
Eldraken sharing pinions. Nobody asked for.
good.
Did anybody ask? Nobody asked. The Sisters of Battle have an entire chapter dedicated to her called Our Martyred Lady. Interesting. Baleful Strix gets in there.
So if I'm playing modern, which means I need to play my. Okay, congrats. So I have to play. If I pick up my
And Leovold, one of my favorite cards. Portent revealed on top. Mystical Dispute being cast on Leovold. And I'm tapping 1 in response. Fluster on Mystical Dispute. Okay, so I had defense for it. Hearses and funeral possessions. Yeah. It's so true. It's so grim. It's that fire design, everybody. Fire design. Remember fire design, everybody? Whenever Twitch chat gets too excited and is having too much fun, I just start talking about fire design.
I worked so hard.
Fire design. It ruined Legacy, and then my voice trails off. Caracas targeting Leovold, letting me draw my card. Buffalo Strix gets in for damage. Counterbalance might counter the first copy of Fluster, but the other copies from Storm would not be affected. They're just put onto the stack. Snapcaster, Brainstorm, and Response.
But I like Pioneer. I built Pioneer because I enjoyed the black market.
Two birds.
I get to play this again. It's like playing Dun again.
I do love Black Redneck. I'll try it online.
By the way, because we just had it happen in chat, I gotta get this off my chest. We've had an abundance of "Wow, really?" not using Ice Age Brainstorm type of comments flying into the comment section lately. If you're gonna barge in here and just be like, "Wow, altars, that's not really my vibe," or whatever, just be quiet. Nobody asked you. Right, chat? Nobody cares what you think. Here's Leovold. He's back.
Go.
Combat.
Yep. 11.
Attacking for 4, putting Phil down to 11.
Yeah.
Brainstorm.
Here's Brainstorm. Oh, not using Mercadian mass brainstorms? Shut up.
Don't worry about it. I heard about that deck.
Yes, 0 with the correct take. Play whatever cards you want. I just want to see Paper Legacy. Exactly. Exactly.
Man.
Minsc and Boo coming down post-combat here.
I can daze, I deal with dog.
I can't deal with cards.
Minsc is good.
Okay, hamster. Oh, plus the hamster.
About that.
Okay, Hamster getting bounced. Caracas now has multiple things to deal with. So I'm looking for Uro at this point in Game 3, hoping to find Uro. Setting up everything
I missed the
so that Uro can
No, I missed that.
do its thing. And I'm Twitch chat's pointing it out, and I'm also pointing it out to Force of Phil right now. I missed the Leovold trigger on the hamster. Phil was going to let me draw my card. I said nope. And here's a spicy one.
You're instant. Oh, you're instant. Okay.
On Phil's end step, 5 damage to each Planeswalker. Flame Shot or something. I forgot what this card's called. So Minsc and Boo is down on Phil's end step.
I'm gonna play around that card. Sure. Alright. Playing sloppy now. Go to text.
Flame Blitz. Yeah, Flame Blitz. Attacking for 4. Caracas bounces Leovold. Lets me draw my card.
Recast.
Leovold getting recast.
Recast.
Desperately trying to find Uro at this point. Fetch.
Yeah, I thought it was exile only, so I flashed it in endurance.
For Mystic Sanctuary, or Mystical Dispute.
The Flame Blitz hitting my Minsc and Boo really messed up my game plan here for sure. All right, so Mystical Dispute putting Mystic Sanctuary putting Mystical Dispute back on top, countered Leovold. A play that I probably should have saw, but I didn't.
You drew Mystical Dispute now, right?
I did draw Mystical Dispute. Yeah, you know about this, man.
First time playing it over and being
Mystic Sanctuary target predict.
Okay. Mystic Sanctuary now puts Predict on top.
Alright, positive minus.
So there's a 2 on top now for counterbalance.
Then you can still win. Then you win with home.
Except I only have to
I don't actually- I never tried.
What's that?
Great.
So you can
All right, Brainstorm for Phil. Putting 2 back on top now. This has been quite the match. I think we're running out of time now. I don't know if we heard time in the round. I don't think we've heard it yet, but we're getting close. There's like 2 minutes on the clock or something like that right now,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
We're committing to sideboarding
take a little piece
But I
and
didn't.
just buy on a couple of
I kept in all my forces.
Yeah, I realized. I mean, they worked.
They work. Yeah.
You forced like 2 Guardians and...
I think I have to, like, because against control, like,
Mystic Sanctuary putting Predict back on top.
the lands to spell ratio, I'm like, maybe, like, I,
So I remember having a Beseiju in my hand at this point in the game. I remember having... I'm trying to remember. But my hope was if I can get Uro, and we're going back a couple of turns ago, back when I had Leovold and Minsc available. My hope was to be able to blow up Caracas and then start getting in there with Uro and just fight through the counterbalance that way. Now I'm kind of regretting, should I have blown up first counterbalance? With the second counterbalance hitting the board, I'm kind of glad I did not do that. So I still have Beseiju in hand at this point. I could get rid of Flame Jab if I get another Minsc. There are 2 in the list. Triumph of St. Katherine hitting the stack right now for Phil. It will resolve. Oh no, it will not resolve. I'm putting Force of Will on the stack. Counterbalance reveals another Flame Blitz on top.
Second counterbalance trigger still on the stack. Predict myself.
Have the combo and then this guy.
Second counterbalance trigger on the stack, Predict. Drawing 2. Brainstorm revealed, so Force of Will not countered by counterbalance. Thwart returning 3 Mystic Sanctuaries, though, is brutal. Is brutal. So Triumph will resolve.
They were like,
That was
this card's
on
so
my
good,
turn?
this card will be the top of the list, so we're
Sudden
gonna
Edict, you know.
Was it not correct?
yeah.
Set an Edict on end step. That'll put Triumph back in the 7 cards on Phil's library. On top of Phil's library.
Oh, it does on Arena now?
Terminus. Put Baleful Strix back on the bottom. Phil now has 3 Mystic Sanctuaries. Portent.
Cast the pact? Like, no, like, decline. Decline.
Yeah.
Decline.
With this. I'm going to decline. Go ahead.
Mystic Sanctuary declined in passing the turn. Brainstorm. And there's Triumph of St. Katherine on end step. I believe this is end step.
1 minute left.
All right, yep, paying for it. It's in play. Attacking for 5. People in the chat are calling for a judge.
Go for it.
Yep.
Thwart going back on top. People who watch this back later will be able to decide if there were errors made. All right, Phil gets there. Phil gets there. Well played. I did. I forget which turn it was, but there was a turn at the end where I should have fetched. I had forgotten I still had a land on top.